Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you like it and if you find it helpful. So today I'm just going to be talking about my top Christian girl must-haves. These are things that I think that every Christian girl should incorporate into their life to really make having a relationship with God intentional and just to have some purpose in your life. These are things that I strive to do every day. I don't do them every day, but I feel like if you hit at least one or two of these things daily, you will really increase your relationship with God. So these are just a few of my top Christian girl must-haves. My first and foremost must-have is a Bible. I think that is so important to have a Bible because that's where you really get the Word of God straight from the source. So I would recommend the New Living Translation for somebody who is just starting out in their walk with God, or someone who really wants to get a very easy to digest, easy to understand translation. So right here I have one that I use. This is the Everyday Matters Bible for Women, and it says it's a practical encouragement to make everyday matter. I got this from my local Christian store, and if I can find it online, I'll link it below. Also right here I have my NIV, so this is my New International Version. I love this because it's really easy to understand as well, and I just feel like it gives a little bit more meat. I like to use these both in combination, so if I'm doing a study, I might look at the NLT, I might look at NIV, and just kind of compare, but those are the two versions that speak the most to me with where I am in my faith right now. I would also suggest downloading the Bible app, and it's called the YouVersion app, and that's an awesome app just to have all the different translations at your fingertips. You can look at something in any translation and it's free. I think that getting into the Bible is the biggest thing that you can do to increase your relationship with God. And that's where the answers for the tough moments of life are, is right in the Bible. So everything else that I mentioned after this is going to be kind of like supplementary, but definitely get a Bible or get the Bible app. So the second thing that I would suggest is getting a prayer journal. This journal I got from either Marshall's or HomeGoods or something of this sort, but I'll link a few down below. I think that having a prayer journal is awesome because, you know, I write as if I'm writing to God. So I'll start off saying, God, you know, thank you for this, or, you know, I'm struggling with this. Writing it down really helps me to just get it all out and get it all on paper. So I would highly recommend getting a prayer journal. In addition to a prayer journal, you can also get a gratitude journal, or you can combine the two. That's pretty much just, you know, waking up in the morning and writing down a few things that you're grateful for. I think it's so important to write down what you're grateful for, because the enemy will try and get you to feel like your life is terrible, make you feel like everything is in shambles. But when you really take a minute to write down, you know, what you have and what God has provided you with, you realize, you know, God, you've really been looking out. The enemy has been lying to me. I think it's important to have a journal to keep track of your thoughts, as well as be intentional about thinking positive, grateful, thankful thoughts as well. So definitely invest in a prayer journal. This one was $3.99, so they're really cheap. Definitely get one. It's really life-changing. The next thing I would suggest would be a devotional. I think that devotionals are great because they really set your mind on God in the morning. The days that I start my morning off reading a devotional versus the days that I don't make an actual big difference. I think that is so important to start your day off with something positive. As soon as you walk out the door, as soon as you get on social media, you're going to be bombarded with whatever the world wants you to think. So waking up and starting your day off with a devotional is key. This one here is the one that I read. This is one that I recommend. This is a Jesus Calling devotional by Sarah Young, and it is amazing. I have gifted this devotional to so many people, like I think over 10 people, and every single person I give it to loves it. I swear by this devotional. If you really want to get to a point where you focus your mind on God in the mornings and setting your day right, get a devotional, and I would suggest getting Jesus Calling by Sarah Young. The further I've grown in my walk with God, the less TV I watch. I like to supplement my free time with reading books. The book that I'm reading right now is called Uninvited, and it's by Lysa, TerKeurst. I like this book because it's just another way to get the Word of God into your heart, and also I'm getting it from an author's point of view. So in addition to reading the Bible, having a devotional, writing in a prayer journal, reading godly books is also a great way to just keep your mind focused on Christ. This book that I've also been reading is called The Power of a Praying Woman by Stormie Omartian. I really love this book as well because this is something that's super applicable, and you don't read it through like a novel, but you really just read it chapter by chapter, and it helps you with, learning how to pray. I'm just going to open to a random page kind of to show you, maybe the name of a chapter. So this chapter here is called Lord, Show Me How to Take Control of My Mind. So as you can see, the chapters of the books are very applicable, things that you really would want to know. If you're just becoming closer in your relationship with God and you really want to know how to do certain things, find yourself an author who has a strong relationship with God. That is a great way to just get some more of the word into your heart. I also think that it's important to have a church home. If you don't have a church home, you should try and find one. I think it's important to be connected to a body of believers. But if you don't have a church home and you're maybe looking and you haven't found one yet, definitely watch online sermons. Online sermons are a great way to really get the word of God, from a pastor. So if you don't have a church that you go to, or you do have a church that you go to, but you want additional sermons, look online. I really enjoy watching John Gray from Lakewood Church in Houston. I also like watching Hodges. He's from Alabama. I watch them every single week consistently, so that's a great way to get, an extra sermon in here or there. Maybe you're getting ready for work or school in the morning. Just put on either some worship music or put on a good sermon, and I think that will help set your day off right, rather than starting your day off on Instagram or starting your day off checking emails. Just try and have some silent time in the morning. I think that is a huge must-have. Just try and have that time with God in the morning to set your day off right. So the last thing that I would suggest that you have is a memory verse. Get some verses memorized, because the Word of God is a sword, it is a weapon. It is the greatest way to fight off the attacks of the enemy. When the enemy speaks death over your situation or over your life, you have to combat with the Word of God. And the best way to do so is to memorize a few verses here or there. One of my favorite verses is Jeremiah 29:11, which is, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope in a future." That's one of the first verses that I found when I started taking my relationship with God seriously, and I swear by it. Super popular, but it speaks to me. I have it framed in my bathroom, and it's also on this journal right here as well. I think that is so important to just have something that you can cling to when you are struggling. Another memory verse of mine is Proverbs 3 verse 5 and 6, which is, "Trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all of your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your path straight." Those two verses together are written across my heart. When I get stressed out, I'll recall them. They are just very important to me. Finding verses that speak to you is important. You can go on Google and literally just search verses about trusting God, verses about loving yourself, and you just memorize it. It could be a short verse, and then you remind yourself of that constantly, because you have to do so. As a woman of God, you really have to be steadfast on the Lord. There are so many distractions in this world, and it is so important to just be intentional. It is important to guard your heart. It is important to be cognizant of what we are taking in as women. There's so much out there in the world, and there are so many attacks. We really have to be steadfast on the Lord to make sure that we are setting ourselves up for spiritual success. Focus on God, get a devotional, read the Bible, maybe if it's only for 5 minutes a day or 2 minutes a day. Just start off small, and over time it'll grow. So this is all I have for you guys regarding Christian girl must-haves. I think it is so important to be intentional in all that we do. It's not the easiest to do, but it is so important to just keep your mind and your heart set on God. You will be glad that you did so. Let me know in the comments below what your go-to Christian girl must-have is. What is it that you do? What's that one thing that you try and do every single day? Let me know in the comments below, and let everyone else know as well. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Please share this video with somebody that you think might need to hear this message, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye!